everyone, this is Multi-Pro and we're going to have NASCAR 98 here on the channel. This is made by EA Sports. As you can see here, I bought the Greatest Hits game, which basically meant it had been out for some time before I bought it. We have Jeff Gordon here on the cover, as well as Dale Earnhardt, Bobby Labonte, and John Andretti. Let's go ahead and open this up. And my case is a little bit old and not fully together. This is the CD, and behind the CD says if it's in the game, it's in the game, EA Sports. So nothing on the back of the disc there for us to look at. But I do want to show you something here from the book before we look at the back cover. Alright, so if we open up here, here we have the table of contents. I miss books being part of games. It explains so much of the stuff to you. And sometimes reading on a screen, it's not as preferable for me, but I'm a little bit old school. You can see this is a PlayStation 1 game, PlayStation 1 controller here. And these are the buttons that you push as far as the defaults to do different things. So it mentions here that there's 29 basically AI cars. 24 race drivers, so you get to pick to be one of them, and then there'll be other 23. There's 17 tracks. Now, on the back of the case, it'll say that there's only 10 licensed NASCAR circuits, and that's because they're not including Suzuka. And then there are 6 other fantasy tracks, and they're all road courses, all those fantasy tracks. It says you can drive up to 600 miles at Charlotte, which if you got the time, then great. Here's the main menu, which I'll show you the gameplay in the next video. But you have single race, championship, season. You can find out information about each driver, which is, I think, pretty cool. It's a little bit more personal that way. We get in through some of the options here of the game. You can set your race length to basically any percentage, I think from maybe like 3% to 100%, somewhere like that. And you can have damage like fully on, or you can do a limited amount of damage. Depends on, you know, your preference. You can do yellow flags on and off, as well as breakdowns of the car. So like, for example, a blown image. And you can set best line on and off. Basically, you'll have like a darker line on the track wherever you're racing there. For the time display, it does give you a split time. It breaks the track into quadrants or sectors, and you can have a time differential between you and the vehicles near you. Additionally, you can do 1 or 2 players. You can do a single race mode where you can just select your track. And you can do car setups here, and you have practice, race, and qualifying here. So those are really good features of the game. Also, there's a little meter here, draft meter. It lights up blue with the little circles here at the bottom right. This shows you how much of a draft you're getting off the car in front of you. You have the speedometer, tachometer, what gear you're in. Here's a map of the track. And then here's your fuel gauge. I think it's green and red. You can't see that here because it's all black and white. I'll show you in the gameplay. Your best lap time is here, and then what your current lap time is as you're going around the track. Your current position, and this is the current lap you're on of the total laps. So the first number is your current lap, and if it says 300 of 300, you're not done, you're still on the last lap. So, and then this is from in-car view, and this is a view that I usually prefer in a lot of games, unless they're too arcade-like. Alright, and then you can look at statistics, timing. You can always pause the game. There are some cheat codes in the game. Anybody remember the paintballs? So if you know anything about that, this is really kind of fun and amateurish way of racing, but it can keep you occupied if you want to get into that. You can do a manual transmission, switch your units for your speed. Here's some of the options as far as adjusting the car. You can adjust the air pressures, the spoiler, the wedge, as well as gear ratios. And there's championship season mode, which is what we'll be doing, although I'm not too thrilled about the fantasy tracks, and just personally, not too much into those. So that's all of the book. The next part we have is the back cover of the disc case, and it says NASCAR 98 is the best racing simulation of all time. I feel like the game that came out before this by Papyrus was a little bit better simulating, but that's just my personal take. But there's a good stab at it by EA Sports here, taking over the NASCAR licensing. This takes up one memory block in your memory card. These are the back of the days when we had memory cards. And you can see here it said 10 official NASCAR tracks instead of 11 because they're not including Suzuka. So there's 17 tracks total, 10 plus 6 and 1. 24 cars and drivers. It has a very good soundtrack, although we won't be able to play the soundtrack on the game due to copyright issues, but it does have a very good soundtrack if you ever want to listen to it. It mentions screeching burnouts, oiled skid marks, spinouts with popping roof flaps, which is a really cool thing to me. If you see a car going backwards, the roof flaps deploy, which is really cool. Emergency vehicles on the track, when there's a caution and stuff, you can kind of see them out there. You can see the tow truck come and get the car, which I think is a neat feature. I'm really not sure why we don't really see that, in later games as much, because that's part of, real life. So this is something that the 98 game had ahead of, some future games. All right, so you have season, arcade, and custom racing. And you can adjust the computer AI strength as well as race length. And there's some somewhat in-depth car setups. It's more so bar graphs of changing things from like loose to tight or aero or something like that. So we will have this on the channel for the coming weeks, and you'll get to see us going through season mode. Look forward to showing that.